Alright guys, welcome back to engineering. Down here, I can pretty much get away with whatever I want. Like wearing this nonsensical uniform that doesn't make sense for the time period. I got it from a time traveler, so it's okay. Same division, different color, I don't know why. And we have strange space coffee to drink. So let me just have a sip of my star coffee. Good. That is good. I said we would be looking at comments, and we're going to do that. If we get any kind of weird alarm back there, don't worry about it. I'll handle it. So let's just forget about that and get into it. Power cage 6 days ago. And by the way, I'm looking back at comments that were made after my previous video where I read off comments. So anything between that video and now we're going to look at. So it's about 6 months of comments we're going to have to look back. Could be a long video, but if there's weird editing in this video, just know it's because this video is kind of like a more casual video. If it could get any more casual than the standard review videos. So just excuse strange cuts and all that. Let's get into it. Power cage 6 days ago. Lol, loved that 3D captain. Okay, it's not Hodard. Easy mistake given a strange alien name. But the captain's name is Hodark on the Dingwall. Hodark. When we translate it to English, that's how it sounds. That's how it looks. Hodark. He's a very strange one. I'll give you that. He's a strange one. Love the 3D Captain Hodard image at the beginning. Did you make that? It's so impressive. If not, I'm just dumb boomer. Don't say that about yourself. I'm old too, without revealing how old I am. Yes, I did create it. I created the image, and I put that texture on the 3D object in the background of the scene. Actually, I believe in that video, you saw it draped over the warp core, which is behind me. An older style warp core, I know, but it's a golden oldie, as they say. Very reliable. But we did have the Captain Hodark banner up there as an homage to the review at hand. Remember the last episode of Lower Deck Season 2, we had Captain Freeman Day. I made the whole thing myself. I said it before, I made everything myself. Check out Mark's design room, and you'll see how I do it. But I did the banner, the images, I did every texture here, I did the lighting, I did the modeling, it's all mine. The music obviously is not mine, because I will use Star Trek sound effects and music, right? Clearly. But visually, everything you see belongs to me. And I also did the animation of the Dingwall warpout at the end of the last review, if you were wondering. I thought that turned out pretty cool. Dan Cherryton 1 week ago. The Cerritos was never in real danger. I'm not sure why they were scaring the drill instructor either, but it was just a scare. You were tipped off to the fact that it wasn't real danger because we cut away to 10 forward and everyone looked out the window and no one cared what was out there. Also, the instructor rigged the simulation, so in the search for Spock situation, she probably rigged the space dock doors to not open it, just like in the search for Spock. That makes sense. Basically, the reason why I was confused by this, if you look, it's saying the Cerritos was never in real danger because we see the crew looking out the window and not responding. See, that's because the show is wavering on the tone. If this was a normal Star Trek show, I would agree with that, because obviously people wouldn't respond if they knew it was like fake. But because we're in Lower Decks and it's like a comedy, I didn't know what I was supposed to feel. Like, what if the Cerritos is so insane that they actually don't respond normally to seeing a black hole at the window. You know what I mean? I mean, your comment is great, but that's what confused me about it. I didn't know what I was supposed to think. Like, crazier shit has happened in lower decks, right? But if this was a normal show, you would be perfectly correct by that statement. But because this is lower decks, and apparently it's a comedy, I didn't know. Like, was I supposed to be scared, or I had to take it as these things being real, because Cerritos, I assume, has done some pretty dumb stuff, and it looks like we have a read more on that, so I'll check out what that is in a moment. And that being said, that was obviously meant to be a sight gag and homage episode, and the plot with the drill instructor was just an excuse for a clip. Yeah, exactly. It's just an excuse for a gag reel. That's the whole thing. The drill instructor was just an excuse to get clips. Very good comment. And the search for Spock thing. Yeah, I missed that. It was simulating the search for Spock when they have to steal the Enterprise and they have to, like, get through the doors that are normally closed, right? And then Scotty has a little thing from the inside of the Excelsior's computer, and he shows it. It's like, the more complicated to make the plumbing, the easier it is to stop up the drain. And that's how he disabled the Excelsior. Remember when Captain Stiles was like ready to warp, and like, we'll catch up to them. We have trans warp drive or whatever the hell, and it just like, and just shut down completely because Scotty had removed the little fuse or something from the computer. Yeah, good times. Again, if you watch TNG, Data, I think, mentions that event by exact date. He says something like a full systems-wide failure of a starship hasn't occurred since. And then I think the exact year he mentioned was the year of Search for Spock, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of an interesting little detail. Dan Cherryton, again, where pleasant fountain lies is a Shakespearean quote. A woman tells her lover, I'll be a park, and thou shalt be my dear. Feed where thou wilt, on mountain or in dale. Graze on my lips, and if those hills be dry, stray lower where pleasant fountains lie. Sounds wonderful, but that's why you're in command and I'm in engineering. I don't understand all this flowery talk. So, you do you, buddy. You can be in command. You can be the guy that goes down on the first contact mission and gets killed. And I'll be back here on the ship, screwing in things with a screwdriver. I don't understand Shakespeare. But, good for you. Thanks for the comment. Wilford Gray just says, thank you, sir. Alright. Okay, thank you, Wilford. Interesting comment. Very, very insightful. I keep looking at that picture and thinking it's not a real picture. Like, it looks like a fake CGI face to me. If that's your real face, I'm sorry. I'm sure you know what I mean. There's something fake looking about your avatar. It's Power Cage, 1 week ago. You've convinced me to watch this episode. I'm a bad boy, though. It's left acquired after it falls out of the back of a truck, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. This is a response to Season 2, Episode 9, Lower Decks. Good episode, but you're going to have to get it out of the back of a truck. You're going to have to go to a food truck and sleazily order it from Farmer John. I have to pay for a subscription to watch this stuff. I really like having to do that. It's really fun doing that. I love it. I love paying money for this stuff that's not really that good. Power Cage. Shit, I remember the Metreon Cascade from Voyager. I guess that makes me a turbo dork. This is a response to, again, episode 9. Yeah, Metreon Cascade, was that not what killed Neelix's sister or something, or his daughter? It's been a while since I watched it, but Metreon weapons are like a big deal, and they're like banned because they're so powerful, right? And Klingons were funneling bombs that could cause Metreon radiation to the Pakleds, which it's a really dumb idea to do that. Like, don't arm Pakleds. Like, it can't. I mean, just in the context of lower decks, they're so stupid that that's a bad idea. 440, like the scene in Ghost. Hold on here. What? Are you talking about the 1990 American romantic fantasy thriller directed by Jerry Zucker? Ghost? What is this? What? Okay, hold on. Let me just go back to that. Okay, so you've shown me the vase making scene from episode 9 of Lower Decks. Does that happen in Ghost? I've never seen any other movie but Star Trek, or a TV show but Star Trek, so I'm not very good with references. But thanks for the comment. The Visipack says 2 weeks ago, the space dock was a simulation of them stealing the starship for a search that they would have needed to open basement. Yeah. Yeah. This is the same as the other comment. I already said I kind of glossed over that accidentally in my review, that in order for the simulation to be accurate to the search for Spock, they would have to manually open the doors. That is correct. Power cage. Lol. Poop. People order our patties. From that classic Star Trek episode where they had to teach Spock how to serve fast food at an alien restaurant. We all remember that one, right? Carrie Gligorovic. Why the hell would Billups' mother have her son to have threesome, a man and a woman, instead of just have sex with a woman instead? Well, the Queen's plan has failed thanks to Rutherford, and after this episode, it would looked liked Billups' mother still won't accepted her son's choices and will continue her scheme to get him to lose his virginity. Yeah, maybe. I mean, ultimately, it's Billups is in Starfleet, and he's going to make that decision for himself. And we just have to live with that. And they have their culture, and they're going to do what they want to do. And Billups is going to do what he wants to do. And you're asking why the hell would Billups' mother have her son to have a threesome? I thought maybe my initial interpretation of that is why there was two people there was because they were actually going to try to force him. Like, they were going to try to overpower him, which is kind of scary if he didn't want to do it. That's just what I thought when I first saw it. Yeah, a little bit spooky, but what do you do? Wilfred Gray, 4 weeks ago, edited, I'd love to have a Bruce Campbell AI character. I liked when he voiced that villain character in Mega's XLR. Coombs is pretty boss too. Yeah, he's talking about Jeffrey Coombs from that show Star Trek. Did you ever watch Star Trek? He's in a few of them. He's in DSN. He's in Enter. He's probably in Disc Ov at some point, and now he's in Deck, playing Agamus, a evil computer AI. Who would have thunk it? Bruce Campbell would be cool as an AI character. I do like his voice. Thanks for the comment. Wilford Gray again 4 weeks ago. Seems like you're enjoying season 2 much more than the first. Yeah, I did. Season 2 is a lot better than season 1. And what I've noticed with the first 2 seasons, at least, of Lower Decks, was that the worst episodes are front-loaded. They put the worst episodes at the beginning of each of these seasons. I noticed that. The first episode of season 2 was possibly the worst episode of the season. But how they do it is they put the bad episodes first, and then it gets better and better and better and better, and then there's like a high point, and then it drops off again. That seems to be what both seasons of Lower Decks were like. I don't know why that is. Maybe there's some kind of strategy behind it I'm not aware of. Wilford Gray. Pack-Leds are dumb, but also devious. Good thing they're dumb, though. Otherwise, Geordi would have been screwed. The episode Samaritan Snare, I think it was called, where Geordi has to go over to a Pack-Led ship and fix something, and they're like trying to hold him hostage or something, and then he tricks them into thinking that the Enterprise is going to use like this secret powerful technique to disable their ship, and they call it like a red energy wave or fog or something, and all it is they just they reverse the intake of the Bassard collectors on the front of the Enterprise D nacelles to throw out matter instead of suck it in. And it's just colored red from the light of the Bassard ramp scoop cap. And it's just like, it's just nothing. It's just like hydrogen and stuff. And the Pack-Leds are terrified by this, and they get scared and like give Geordi back or something. It's pretty funny. A guilty pleasure episode for me. Like there's nothing good about that episode. There's nothing smart. There's nothing cool. But yet I watch it every time. I never skip it. Power Cage, aka the printer ink mixed with Metamucil Monster. Yeah. This is when Argus returns for that one episode of Lower Decks, and he's referring to the creature in the episode Skin of Evil of TNG, the black tar monster, the thing that like pushes Tashiera and just kills her, and then she leaves the show tragically. Yeah, it's just the printer ink mixed with Metamucil Monster. It's just a puddle of goop, and I believe I read that Jonathan Frakes willingly jumped into that goop without using a stunt double or anything. Like and everybody was shocked that he was so willing to do it, and it's so funny. A lot of weird, there's some weird continuity stuff in that episode if you look closely. I won't get into it, but one of them, you can see Geordi's normal eyes. For a second, Agamus rips off his visor, and you can see the eyes without the whites over them. Kind of weird. Is Geordi pretending to be blind? Makes you think. 245, also legendary for finding things. They find things to make us go. Power Cage a month ago. Whomst downvoted. Whomst ever you are, I hope you have a bad day. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm gonna be real with you for a minute. I'm not totally sure why people go on YouTube and pick out a video and dislike it. Like, I don't know. I've never done that. It's just, what's the point? I mean, I understand like the purpose of the downvote system. Like it's like if something goes like really wrong with one of my videos, and the downvotes are coming from people who are already subscribed, then it's useful. But if it's just a drive-by downvote and you don't know why and nobody comments, it doesn't do anything really. I don't think it does anything for me or the person who downvoted. But I mean, do what you want. But it's just strange when it's just like you have a video with like no views pop up, and a minute later you have a dislike. And you're just thinking, why? Like, I've never done that. I've never looked up Star Trek review, sorted by date, found the most recent one, and clicked dislike ever in my life. There's no... I don't know what I would get out of that. Matthew James 1 month ago. In Kurtzman Trek, time is both relevant and irrelevant. Relevant when you need it, and irrelevant when you don't. Want to think as hard. Well, you don't want to think too hard as you are writing the script. Yep. This was really bad in Discovery Season 3. The sense of time and stuff was really strange. Like, somehow, anything that had to do with that transwarp conduit in Season 3 of Discovery made no sense. Just go back and watch my reviews that go into it. It's 1 minute, it takes like a second to go between Starfleet headquarters and the Orion Syndicate, whatever it was called, home base. At one moment, it takes like a day. And then later on, they're in the same place, and they have to use the dangerous 50-50 to kill yourself transwarp conduit because they can't get there in a fast enough time. Like, at one moment, we can do it fast, and then at another time, it takes forever. And I could be messing up my facts on that because I watched the bad stuff, and then I try to delete it from my brain. I can't remember this crap because it's so mind-numbing, but you're right. The dilation and contraction of time whenever you need it to just be whatever you want is a big deal in post-2005 Star Trek, I've noticed. Time used to be a big deal in Star Trek. It used to be like somebody would just say it's going to take us 37 hours to warp there, and you'd be like, yeah, okay. And then you'll have the screen will go dark, and there'll be a time transition kind of thing showing the passage of time, and people are in different places, and just having respect for the vastness of space. Time and distance is so important in Star Trek, and I think we've lost sight of that because when you lose sight of time and distance, warp travel becomes unimpressive. Okay? And you should never be making a warp speed an unimpressive thing because it's really impressive. Michelle Joseph. Real world militaries have several uniforms used at the same time. True. And remember, DS9 and certain ships used TNG uniform, while other ships like Voyager, station crew had the new uniforms. And even in TNG, not all of the Enterprise crew had the same uniforms. Yeah, true. Some were the season 1 and 2. Yeah, well, a lot of the crew had the new ones, and they changed the uniforms 3 times. In TNG, the spandex, one with these seam down the center, and the front of the top, and then a non-crease seam down the front of the... Again, with the long comment here, hold on. The ones with the crease seam down the center of the front and top, and the non-crease seam down the front of the uniform, so the Titan's still using the 2373 uniforms, while the rest of the Starfleet has moved on to the new 2380 uniforms. And then by 2385, there was another uniform, and sometime after 2390, uniforms got changed again. Very well-informed comments from this person. Insightful and valued. I see the TNG Season 1 and 2 uniform, and then the 2 slight variants of the post-Season 3 uniform, and then the DS9 Voyager red on top, black on bottom, or color on top, black on bottom style uniform. I see the first 3 from TNG as variants of the same exact uniform. They're variants. And the DS9 Voyager is like the casual version of that, because when you see it on DS9, it's not a starship, it's a station. So I saw that as the casual variant of the TNG outfit, because you can also see people from a Starfleet starship that land at DS9 will often have the old TNG style uniform. So they're actually kind of variants of each other. But I see the Nemesis style not Nemesis, the First Contact style uniform, we'll call it. You know, the gray one with the black and all that, the kind of scary looking one. I see that as fundamentally a different uniform. It's so different that I can't see that existing at the exact same time as the Lower Decks uniform. It's too much of a gap. Like the gap between the Lower Decks uniform and the TNG movie, DS9 later season uniforms is too great. But the gap between the Voyager uniforms and TNG uniforms are not as great, right? So they could possibly be a variant of each other. And this isn't counting dress uniforms, captain's variants, and excursion outfits. We're not counting that, but you are right. Real life militaries do have varying designs, but I don't know. I just think it's dumb. I want everyone to have the Lower Decks uniform. The Lower Decks uniform is actually kind of cool. But you're right, though. Strange New World. Okay, Michelle Joseph again. Strange New Worlds is set in 2258 to 2265. They already said they plan to have it set after the events. Season 2 of Discovery. Remember, Strange New Worlds is a Discovery spinoff. Yeah, true. True. I think this person is probably trying to figure out why I didn't love the uniforms that we saw for Strange New Worlds. I think that's what this person's getting at. Yeah, remember it's a Discovery spinoff. Yeah, that's fine. Be that as it may. I still don't have to love the uniforms. I still don't like the patterns of deltas everywhere. It just reminds me too much of Kelvin. Which Discovery might be Kelvin. Is it Kelvin? I don't know. I remember when I watched the first episode of Discovery, I was so excited. I had popcorn ready, and I was like, I can't believe Star Trek is coming back on television. And I watched it, and I was just... There are no words. I watched the first pilot, like they did 2 episodes back to back, I think. And I was just flabbergasted. I was dejected and walked around like a ghost. I just became a listless and sad ghost of myself for a few days. When I saw how Kelvin it was, I was just like, oh my god. Dude, this is Kelvin. This is friggin' JJ. The lens flares, the blinding bright lights, the weird camera angles. I was just like, oh no. Oh no. And the second episode, huge space battle or whatever. Oh no. I don't like going back to that point in my mind. Wilfred Gray, 2138. Okay, 1 month ago. Gotta go with what sells and what dummies know. Hey, this is when I was talking about uniforms and all that stuff. I think he probably is referring to the fact that there's a Khan character in Strange New Worlds. Like Spock didn't remember that, oh yeah, we had a Khan on this ship before. Oh wow. Were they related to you, Khan, Nooney, and Singh? Wow, yeah, we had an ensign or something on this ship named Khan. Who would have thunk it? And I think that's probably what Wilfred Gray is referring to, the fact that we have to name drop Khan characters in this friggin' whatever. Okay. What's the only other comment on this video, and why can't I see it? It's a bot. Lol, of course it was. Be careful, Lieutenant Mark. The Matrix has you. Uh-oh. The Matrix has me in its grasp. I'm being botted. There's bots everywhere. I'm not in the real world. I'm not in the desert of the real, as it were. You want to see what the bot was? There it is. Look. Karen Powers, 1 month ago. 3I9F8 VYN.FYE. Don't click that. Don't go to that URL. Don't try to click that ever. Don't type that in anywhere. Don't do that. I don't know where that goes. If you're wondering, that's what bot comments look like. It's just a random string of crap and then some link they want you to click. Or maybe it isn't. I don't know what the hell it is. Don't try to follow up on it. Wilfred Gray. According to RLM, one of the people in those Fishman costumes was Mick Fleetwood. Yeah, I know. there's a lot of people, famous celebrities and whatnot, that want to get in Star Trek, but they don't want to be recognized, and they will get in makeup or in costume. It's pretty funny, and they'll appear in the background and all that. Interesting stuff. Power Cage, Lieutenant Mark is at the halfway mark. Well, yeah, that's right. Also cool. Also cool. Well, I'm not gonna listen. I made it, so whatever it is, if it's cool, I'll just say yeah, bro, it is cool. Whatever happens at 1924. Here's another bot from Shanna Taylor. 8GR4Q. Blah blah blah. Don't try to follow that. Matt James. Enjoying the work you're putting into these reviews, making it easier for me to watch Lower Decks. Thank you very much, Matthew James. My work in these reviews is like, I don't love reviews that are just a person clearly watching the episode on a TV over there and commenting. I don't like commentary disguised as reviews. So I will watch the episode 3 times and then make notes if I have to, and then sit down and have verbal diarrhea into the microphone, without trying to censor anything I was thinking at the time, without trying to have a script. I just go in and I just have stream of thoughts of what I was thinking. I'll say what happened in the episode beat by beat, but it won't be an exact play-by-play because it's not commentary. So things will be left out. But the important thing is that the poignant moments of the episode are what stick, right? So when I give you just the basic kind of blow-by-blow, I'm going with what was emotionally valuable to me. That's how I'm doing these reviews, and I think that's probably a better way to do it because it's a lot closer to how the average person would think of a review, I think. I don't like these super stuffy reviews, and I also don't like the opposite where it's just commentary disguised as a review, if you know what I mean. So right now I'm going to go to our next lineup of comments. Wilfred Gray, 2 months ago. I'll bet it's because Picard doesn't have the blast processing. That's because, I call that episode What Picard Don't. Hold on, I think I can find, to prove Wilfred Gray wrong, I think I can find a Picard item that does have blast processing. One moment, please. What about this? Do you think this has blast processing? There's Picard there. Right? There's Riker. You're saying this Picard doesn't have blast processing? I look inside and I can see blast processing. Wilfred Gray apparently thinks that Picard doesn't have blast processing. I don't get it. Does this one? Does that have blast processing? Star Trek the motion picture on the Vectrex? Huh? Is there any blastness in that? Is there blasting in that? Does this have blast processing? Wilfred, you think? This is another item. You guys know I'm a bit of a hipster, and I like things from the 21st century and 20th century. But this piece of electronics here, I mean, it came out only a few years, really, in the ultimate scheme of things, a few years before this thing. But there's only a few years after, I think maybe like 20-something. Not a big deal. Shit, my homie is in command now. Not really. Just for some reason, they used to use red for engineering, which I still prefer. I still think is cooler, but yeah, buddy. You can say that again. Power Cage again. Who were the two people who downvoted? I'ma find you. Well, you go ahead if you can find them. You can find them, Power Cage. Michelle Joseph. Janeway is the derelict. That must mean derelict Starfleet ship's emergency training hologram, not the real Janeway. Yeah. And the show takes place in 2383, 5 years after Voyager returns, and is set in the Delta Quadrant. And the new characters are a 16-year-old Tellarite named Jankum Pog, a Medusan in a robot suit named Zero, a 8-year-old female Brycar named Rocktack, 2 unknown species, one being a 17-year-old male named Dal, and a blob creature named Murph, and a new species, a 17-year-old female Val Nakat named Gwen. Thanks for the information. We only got like a week to wait before we watch Prodigy, so Michelle Jost again. Also, the Discovery Season 4 uniform change was done for production reasons, yeah. As the gray ones were designed for the Starfleet headquarters sets, and they blended in and clashed with the U.S.S. Discovery sets. Understandable. According to the costume designer in an interview she gave talking about the Season 4 costumes. Yeah, I can see that. But then shouldn't you have designed it so that they would look good on the Discovery? You know, if you knew that the Discovery crew was going to get that uniform. Yeah. Michelle Joss, 4 months ago. Lower Decks takes place a year after Nemesis. And the uniforms used on the Cerritos are the new uniforms for 2380, which get changed by 2385. We see in flashbacks to Star Trek Picard, correct? So basically, Starfleet is in transition, true, to these new uniforms. Same with the Enterprise crew. In Discovery Season 2, there was a line about Pike's crew were the first to get the new uniforms, correct? It is the same with the uniform changes in TNG and DS9. The TNG crew are still using the older uniforms, while the crew of DS9 got the new uniforms that were okay. Read more. Hold on. Get the new uniforms that were put into service in 2369, and it takes a couple years for the Enterprise D to start using them in 2371, the same year the Enterprise D is destroyed, and they switch them again in 23... Yeah, I know, I saw that. I always thought it was strange that Star Trek Generations used, like... Did they not use both uniforms? Both variants of the same TNG thing? Again, very, very informed, insightful comment. Thank you. Yeah, there is a mixture of uniform variants on Generations. Some of them are wearing the color division on top, black on bottom. Some of them are wearing the full TNG Season 3. Didn't particularly love that, but you know, it is what it is. Lower Decks is designed to be callback fan service Easter eggs filled series for the old fans to be drawn in. Yeah. That's really, at the end of the day, that's what Lower Decks is. It's just throwing some Easter eggs and stuff in there just to trick the old fans into, like, thinking they're valued again. Which, you know, it's so sad that, I mean, an old fan has to be a homeless bum begging for scraps, and then Mike McMahon can come along and throw you an Easter egg and you're like, oh, thank you. I mean, even I feel that way. Like, I'm not one to talk, because I feel that, because I've been so beaten down by Kurtzman. Power Cage. Time travel is so played out and lame at this point. Oh my god. If you were watching Enterprise when it was coming out, you just couldn't wait for that stupid temporal Cold War to get over. You just could not wait for that to end. And then they finally just killed it in season 4. Finally. We got rid of the time travel shit. We got rid of Daniels. Ugh. Finally. You're going back to 2151. You're thinking, holy shit, we're going to see the beginning of Starfleet. Okay. Oh, wait, we're just going to time travel shit from the future into the past so we can do some future shit too. Come on, guys. Come on. That's probably the worst. The most annoying time travel has ever been was when they tried to hammer it into Enterprise. That's one of the strikes against that series for me. Even though I like it a lot, it's a strike against it. But as soon as they dropped it, oh man, it was so fun. Season 4 Enterprise, so good. Manny Koto, they got him as a showrunner. Dude. Wilfred Gray, yeah, my boy's back, and he also admits to being a 24th century hipster. I am a hipster. I already showed you my classic items, right? For real, glad to see a new upload from you, bro. Yeah, my uploads are a little bit sporadic, I know. Matthew James, I will enjoy you reviewing Star Trek Picard Season 2. Thank you for saying what I felt when I saw the trailer. You know what? I'm not going to enjoy reviewing it. I know it's easy to look at people reviewing stuff and saying, hey, he could just complain about stuff. That's so easy. I can just complain. Well, no, it's not that fun. It's horrible. It's like, one thing I've realized about having to review things I hate is that it's not fun at all. There's no fun in it at all. It's not fun to like scream at stuff. I think, on the contrary, it's harder to do. It's harder to get up and get in front of the camera to talk about something that you hate. It's just, you have to just force yourself to do it. It's like, it's so monotonous and it's so boring, and you just don't want to feel sick anymore. There was that friggin' episode where they drilled out Icheb's eye in Picard Season 1. I went over to that episode, and I felt sick to my stomach and had to sit on the toilet for a while. Like, it was so gross. It's just like, do you want to feel that way when you're watching Star Trek? Do you want your skin to crawl? Is that normal? Am I crazy? Wilfred Gray, I don't get along with anybody in my life, and that's not funny. Yeah, sometimes you do get a badge off moment from me, and I reveal what my off time is like. You know, back when sometimes I'll go back to Earth, and I just have to go back to my normal life, and I just hate it. I'd rather live here. Yeah, just as a heads up, I may have said Trek here instead of Trek. Yeah, whoops. I was singing Faith of the Heart, and that was a response to Trek Lad singing it. And I may have accidentally said Trek Yards out of force of habit. Power Cage, the toilet flush made me have to go to the bathroom myself. Your subliminal programming worked. I hope you're proud of yourself. Yeah, on the DINGWALL, the bathroom is above the bridge. You're on the bridge. You go to the back door, and then you go to the right, and you climb up a little flight of stairs, and the bathroom is like above the bridge to the side. And when you're on the bridge, you can hear the bathroom flush down into the protein resequencing system. It's down into waste management. Yeah, it's very strange, but it's like that for some reason, I'm sure. P.S. I like the MIDI Star Trek theme. So do I. Power Cage. Hey kid, you want to smell some shit? Wilfred Gray, you ever need a background hype man? I'm your boy. I have no idea how that even work. What do you do? Advertise? Like, I rarely show up on other Star Trek channels. Like, it's rare that I'm in the comments. Okay, here we go. Here is the most confusing comment I've ever gotten from Matthew James. I think the fog effect you added has helped these shows out greatly. Now, the fog effect is a thing I put in front of this screen if CBS is going to block it. So how did the fog improve the video on your end? You can't see anything. Do you mean that it makes it so that it's harder to block, so it's easier for me and better for you? Is that what you mean? Power Cage. Well, of course, bro. How else are they supposed to capitalize on Season 4 Discovery if they can't tell you Season 4... If they can't sell you Season 4 Starfleet pajamas? Yeah. I mean... Listen, go on eBay. The second new uniforms are revealed in a Star Trek property, they're all on eBay already, ready to go. You can order one up. As soon as it's revealed, you can get one. Right there. And, listen, I know this is probably from third-party sellers and all that, but the fact still remains that that means that as soon as a new uniform is revealed, they inherently know that people are immediately trying to buy it. And the third-party sellers are probably getting there first, but they're not going to be far behind, let me tell you. Power Cage. This one's responding to when I reviewed all of the uniforms and I ranked them. My favorite is the pilot episode of TOS, the sweaters. I mean, the uniforms, right? Yeah, I like them too. I like the muted colors of the cage, and the kind of the sweaters with the collar that kind of went up a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Power Cage. For real, though, I definitely agree on the Enterprise uniforms. Yeah, I like them too. Because I like early Earth space history, and I like the uniforms they wore back then. The jumpsuits. I'm into classic space stuff. I do have a few books back in my quarters. Wilfred Gray. This is a response to the last Mark's Design Room, where I was showing you new uniforms, and he liked the look of it. Yeah, this is just accidentally apologizing for posting the same thing twice. It's okay, don't worry about it. Power Cage. I like the Enterprise jumpsuits. They were just neat. I just think they're neat. So do I. Right now, as a little bonus in this video, rather than have it in the next design room, I'm going to show you some of the uniforms I was working on. I may have been a little bit short with you the first time I showed them. So I'm going to show you one that I worked on my own. There's a vastly improved study of a hypothetical future uniform. If you're a creative person, you just create things accidentally. You create things all day, every day, and you can't stop. And sometimes you name these things just to have them for future reference. And that's what this is. So I'm going to bring it to the top layer. And I'm going to full screen. So there. You can see a overview of how the ranking pips work. Crewman, ensign, lieutenant, junior grade, lieutenant commander, commander, captain, admiral, and then the various levels above admiral, like full single bar and double full bar. You can see the shirt. The bottom of the shirt comes down to a point. It's got a slit up the side for ease of movement. The pips are combined together. It's a single object, unless you get to the double bar. And it's shaped like a bug. I call it the bug, lovingly in my mind. We got boots straight out of lower decks. The pants have a division color where it meets the boot. Boots are tall, pants are black. black striping goes all the way down the shoulders and then around the cuff. And we have 2 bands of color division jostling both sides of the neck, calling to mind Season 1 TNG. What do you think of this? And there's also a brief possible typeface for a title. There's my badge. And there's the U.S.S. Enterprise logo that appears on the bridge floor. What do you think? Hold on, I'll show you a bridge shot. Holy crap. I'm on the bridge of the Enterprise. But what Enterprise? There's our logo. 3 viewers. 3 viewers. Alright guys, thanks for the comments. See you guys next time. This is Mark, and I have to go to the friggin' bathroom. See you later.